Hello students, today you're going to take notes on fermentation. Set up your Cornell notebooks like usual with a title, make sure you have the date as well. And then this is the kind of notes where you make advanced questions and a summary. Because it's a video, I might ask you to draw one or two things depending how what images I show you. So just keep an ear out for that. Alright, let's get started. And if the video is going too fast, pause it or rewind it. Number one. For number one, write: there are two ways into which break down glucose. The first way is cellular respiration, and then the second way is fermentation. I will provide you the first question. On the left-hand side, you can write down such as how many ways are there to break down glucose. Okay, moving on to number two. Cellular respiration is more effective and provides more energy for breaking down glucose, and this is why our cells use cellular respiration instead of fermentation. Your body can do fermentation though. Fermentation is when you use carbon dioxide like this to break down glucose. Your muscles have a lot of cells that work real fast and real hard, so they need oxygen because it provides more energy than fermentation. So using carbon dioxide molecule here, will give you energy too, but just a lot less. Alright, go ahead and think of a question for number two. Alright, now moving on to number three. Fermentation is when glucose is broken down with carbon dioxide instead of oxygen. Let's look at another picture of this. An organism that uses exclusive fermentation, like yeast, the stuff that we put in bread to make it get nice and puffy, eats sugar just like we do, and then it kind of releases carbon dioxide again, and also ethanol and energy. In this picture here, you'll see how glucose can actually be digested by different kinds of organisms or creatures. These are the names of the creatures or organisms that are small. They're just usually unicellular organisms, and a lot of the cheeses that we eat, wines and vinegars, all these things are the leftovers from what these other organisms have processed through fermentation. So again, fermentation is the second process that can be used to break down sugar or glucose. And our bodies can do fermentation as well, just like yeast can, but we usually do more cellular respiration, unless our muscles are working really hard and they need to go with a backup plan. Go ahead and come up with a question for three, and we're moving on to four. Alright, ready? Number four. Mostly small organisms, just such like I just showed you, like the yeast, use fermentation because they don't need that much energy to stay alive. But us humans, because we are much bigger and more complex, we need a lot more energy. So usually bigger organisms don't use fermentation unless you have to. Go ahead and come up with the last question for number four. Don't forget your summary and your advanced question, and then you move on to the next step. Have a good day.